the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
And the ACC is 4-1 against the SEC, proving that they are the superior conference in the Southeast part of the United States for as long as that lasts, because the ACC is going to be over on the West Coast before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
We got Georgia Tech, the sneaky Yellow Jackets coming into this one, going at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 17.5-point favorite. How do you see this game going?
I'm really excited about this one, Matt Green. I think this is a sneaky fun one. I want to see if Ole Miss is for real, and I understand it's Georgia Tech, but they should have beat Louisville. They pissed that game away late. They should be undefeated to this point in the year. They're sneaky great running the football. Haynes King, Zach Pyron, doesn't matter who it is. They're going to be okay. Ole Miss now as a defense, Pete Golding's got that thing turned around. They're a top 10 defense this year. If that holds, that's a very different Ole Miss team and what their ceiling looks like. They're a borderline top 10 team on offense. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they find their way into the top 10 or at least top 10 offense, top 20-ish defense by the end of the year. And that's a lot of wins for Lane Kiffin and his group. Tech, though, 9th in the country in yards per attempt on offense. Buster Faulkner has been fantastic calling plays and being the OC for Georgia Tech. So that's been a home run hire by Brent Key and his staff to this point. But Jaxon Dart is completing 70% of his passes, 600 yards. They go and beat Tulane on the road, 6 TDs, 1 pick. I don't know. I just look at this group. They don't allow teams to run the ball. Georgia Tech can run the ball. I'm curious which one wins. I'm going to bet on Ole Miss to shut that down. And I don't think Georgia Tech's going to be able to stop Jaxon Dart. I think Jaxon Dart has made the leap. I think Ole Miss is legit. I think we're looking at a 9-3, 10-2 Ole Miss team. I think Ole Miss is going to be really good in the SEC West this year. They have all the makings of a team that's going to continue to rise, and people are going to buy more and more into the Quinshon Judkins and Jaxon Dart and Trey Harris hype. And that defense, I think everything's coming up Ole Miss. So if you're not already on the Ole Miss train, you might want to get on before it leaves the tracks, Matt Green.
Yeah, they got at Alabama and LSU the next 2 weeks, so we'll find out real quick. But I'm looking at a different transfer quarterback, sir. I'm looking at Haynes King on the Georgia Tech side of things. If maybe one of the bigger indictments on Jimbo Fisher, like, this guy looks like a pretty solid quarterback playing for Georgia Tech, and I know he doesn't have as good a supporting cast, and I know it was also Louisville he was playing in that first game, but Haynes King just looked solid. Like, Tech looked like they had a pulse. And maybe I was just impressed with Georgia Tech because my expectations for Georgia Tech were so low. But you saw improvement out of this team when Brent Key took over a year ago. Like, I feel like Georgia Tech, I think this could be a competitive game for 3 quarters or so. So I think this is going to be like a fun one to watch. And I think Ole Miss probably wins by 2 touchdowns, but Give me Ole Miss to win, but Georgia Tech to actually keep this thing closer than the 17.5.
Wow. Okay. I think Tech I think is
taking Tech and Florida the same week. I don't know what's going on.
You're changing, Matt Green. You're evolving. I don't know what's happening, but I hope it backfires because that's good for me. It serves you right that you're going down with the Gators and the Jackets. Typical Georgia fan. They just don't know how to handle success, that they end up just picking the Jackets and the Gators in their college football pick'em show. Just classic Georgia fan.
But not going crazy with Georgia Tech. They're still going to lose, but they'll keep it close. Just keep an eye out for them.
Okay. Well, that's all I've got, Matt Green. It's going to be a fun weekend of college football action. Make sure to check us out on YouTube as we grow out all that and keep up.